All right. I just saw a news from Business Insider Africa, and the news is that Kremlin has expanded the list of African friends whose bank can now trade currency in Russia. They've included Nigeria, Ethiopia, and Tunisia. The Russia Federation expanded the list of African countries eligible for currency trading in Moscow to include Nigeria, Tunisia, and Ethiopia. The total number of countries allowed for trading has now been increased to 40. The expansion was driven by the limited capacity of Russian individuals to provide enough liquidity in national currency. I've been trying to check what they hope to achieve with this. Obviously, China has been under sanction, and because of the sanction of Russia has been under sanction, and because of the sanction of US and EU on Russia, they've not been able to trade in euro and dollar. Now, what they've been trying to do is to form an alliance with different countries to be able to trade in their currency. It looks to me like something similar to the Pan-African payment and settlement system, because it will allow to be able to do trading with Russia and be able to pay in local currency. So what I did was to go and check before the pandemic, what exactly does Nigeria export to Russia? And what does Nigeria import from Russia? Of course, the trade between Nigeria and Russia is extremely skewed in favor of Russia. Nigeria imports refined petroleum from Russia and wheat from Russia. And I guess Russia is trying to revive that. About almost 90% of Nigerian import from Russia is wheat and refined petroleum. Refined petroleum is about 20%, wheat is about 70%. So 70% wheat, 20% refined petroleum, that's about 90%. And the total trade is about 1.12 billion. But when you compare that to what Nigeria is exporting to Russia, it's very small. Cocoa butter, cocoa beans, cocoa paste, perfume plant, and it's just about 36 million. So I decided to check historical data. So I want to check 2017, what was the total export volume? $45 million. 2017, 2015, what was the total export volume? 2015, $24 million. 2020, what was the total export volume? $39 million. 2021 was the total export volume of Nigeria to Russia, 39. So Nigerian export to Russia has not gone beyond 39, 40, $45 million. So obviously this arrangement is in favor of Russia. I was thinking of how this will work. I foresee something similar to the Pan-African payment and settlement system. If they have allowed Nigeria, maybe Nigeria might have to open an account with Russian Central Bank, and Russian Central Bank open an account with Nigerian Central Bank, so it becomes easier for us to settle them in Naira, and they will settle us in rubles over there. I mean, they will something in rubles over there, will be credited here in Naira. When we settle Naira over there, will be credited here in rubles. That's what I foresee. So that will be an exchange, trading in their currency. That's what I foresee. I'm just trying to think of how this will work, but look to me like something similar to Pan-African payment and settlement system. Of course, obviously, Russia is not doing this to favor Nigeria. Because I was trying to look at what does Nigeria really stand to benefit. I'm sure Nigeria is not lobbying for this. I'm sure Russia came up with this by themselves, because in fact, in the news, they said the number of friendly and neutral countries whose credit institution and broker will be allowed to trade in Russian foreign exchange market and derivative market has increased to 40. Neutral. Countries outside of Africa, such as Laos, Mexico, were also recently added. The order has been signed. Representatives from Argentina, Cambodia, Mexico, Nigeria, Tunisia, Ethiopia will now be able to engage in currency trading. The Russian government also disclosed that the directive will assist in fulfilling the demand of the Russian economy for the payment in its currency and enhance the effectiveness of the system for the direct conversion of the national currency of friendly neutral government. Friendly, so you can understand. Friendly neutral government. African countries like Algeria, Egypt, Morocco, South Africa were initially on the original list, which has been approved by the Russian Federation as of September 2023. That's almost 2 years ago. Prior to development, only people from Russia could engage in domestic foreign currency trading. However, their limited capacity to provide enough liquidity in the national currency restrained transaction volume and skewed the robust, that's their currency exchange rate. So obviously, this is in their favor. I'm not surprised. I mean, Russia has to survive, and that they've even survived up to this point is commendable with the kind of sanction they are faced with from EU, from US, is the kind of sanction they are faced is, and with what they've done and how they've survived is commendable. And the reason is because they're a major gas supplier to Europe. I think they even have the largest gas reserve in the world, if I'm not mistaken. Major gas supply to Europe, not just major supply to Europe, major supply to other countries, and more importantly, crude oil supply also. So they are able to buy. In fact, at some point, India was buying a lot from them because they were selling at a cheaper rate. After a while, India had to stop because they needed India to pay using Russian currency, using Chinese currency, so they can use the money to buy goods from China, and India was not going to do that. So I'm not sure if India is currently buying, but they were buying at some point because they were trying to fill their strategic reserve, and they were buying a lot because Russia, particularly during COVID or just after COVID, because Russia was selling at a cheaper rate. And in fact, at some point, EU was accusing India of funding the war in Ukraine, and the Indian Prime Minister said, but you're buying their gas now. You're buying the gas from Russia. We are buying their crude oil. Why is it that we buying their crude oil and we're funding the war in Ukraine? You are buying their gas, and Russia insists, when you're buying my gas, you have to pay in rubles. You have to pay in rubles because they can't touch US dollar, So when I saw it, I wanted to say, could I say it's a sharing news? But the data does not show me the data does not show me as a sharing news. The data just showed me that assuming we are doing a lot of export to Russia, maybe it will have helped us, but our export to Russia is not even up to $50 million. But consistently until the pain of the sanction became very hard. In the last 2 years, I was checking, in the last 2 years, Russia has not been able to, the Nigerian export to Russia has significantly reduced because we've not been able to do a lot of transactions because of the dollar issue. In fact, in 2022, there was I can't see 2023 transaction. In 2022, it was $4 million. It has gone to $4 million in 2022. Cocoa was not even part of it. It was more of cut flour, perfume plant, things that were not even on the list before. And that's Nigerian export. But Nigerian import from Russia has also declined significantly by more than 50% because of the sanctions. So I don't see it as a sharing news, but it's good you're aware of it, just in case. What I'm not sure of is I'm trying to think of the mechanism that will be involved, and that's what I was looking at. It looks to me like it's going to be similar to what Pan-African Payment and Settlement System is doing. I can get paid in Naira if I export to Russia, and I can pay the buyer also in Naira if I'm importing from Russia. That's what I can say in this. How this will play out, I'm sure CBN will have to be involved in this. I'm still not very clear on the mechanism. I'm talking about the operational process now, considering the fact that I was not heard anything from CBN, and it's a new development, and it's an initiative of Russia, not an initiative, not what Nigeria is requesting for. At least it's not in the news that Nigeria is requesting to do this with Russia, because I don't think it's something we should even be interested in. But now they have put it on our doorstep. Maybe it's something we should consider, but it's not something we should be interested in because our trade with Russia is very, very low. Very, very, very low. This is definitely in favor of transaction of Russia, of export of Russia, in terms of their wheat and in terms of the refined petroleum. All right, this is my contemplation this evening, hearing the news of let me check the title again, just in case you want to Google it and read it up. It says, Russia add Nigeria, Tunisia, and Ethiopia in currency trading list. Russia add Nigeria, Tunisia, and Ethiopia in currency trading list. This, in my opinion, is in favor of Russia because Russia do more in terms of export to Nigeria. Nigeria do very less in terms of export to Russia. But I don't know what CBN take would be about it, but I'm sure some business people might want to consider this. All right, thank you very much. See you in the next video, and bye for now.